thought it would be fun to go through a few of my favourite autumnal/fall palettes that I reach for in my collection. Now, the palettes that I'm going to talk to you about today, I have made sure that they're still in stock and they are still available so that nobody is upset, because I don't want to be upsetting anybody by saying this is an amazing fall palette and then you can't get hold of it. So I did check, so hopefully I'm correct and you can get all of these palettes if you are interested. Now, I do have a variety of palettes here from different brands. Some were sent to me in PR and some I bought myself, and they're following along the theme of fall and autumn, what I would reach for, but I'm not technically classing any spooky ones, if you know what I mean. I feel like maybe I could just do a whole separate video on spooky palette rankings, because I don't know, even though I associate those spooky palettes with fall, some people don't, so I thought I'd keep them separate. So this is just fall, not necessarily spooky. And what I've realised when I was going through my collection to do this is I have a lot of palettes that you can't get anymore, because there's so many that I wanted to reach for and include in this video, and I'm like, it's just not made anymore. Which is kind of sad really, and makes me think maybe some of them I should part with, so maybe I need to do more of a big declutter at the end of the year. Now, some of these palettes are newer, some of them are older. I've just got a nice mix, hopefully you enjoy looking at some of these colour stories, because I love videos like this. I love looking at different colour stories, talking about different brands, and just getting into fall vibes, to be quite honest. Now, I'm going to start with the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. It is a fairly new one in my collection. This is the Glaminatrix Tones of Turd palette. Like, these are not in any order. I'm not ranking them in any way. They're just palettes that I really like to reach for at this time of year. And this is a newer one in my collection. Now, I don't think you can actually get the Tones of Turd name anymore, but you can still get the palette. I can't remember what its other name is if you didn't want to get things with poo connotations on it. But you can still get this palette in colour story, it just won't be called this. And I've used this a few times now, and as you can see, this colour story is just so deliciously autumnal. The mattes are so deep, rich and pigmented, exactly what I like to work with, especially at this time of year. The shimmers are absolutely incredible. Today I used this one, which is more of sort of a yellowy leaning shimmer, and then I did use the deeper brown on the edge, and I have not been disappointed with this palette quality wise. So if you were wondering what it's like, I do have a video of me testing this, and I think I did one look in that video. But of course, you can shop your stash for these types of tones to get this type of vibe if that's what you're wanting for eyeshadow for this time of year. But it's just a little bit on the sort of grungy, swampy side, which is probably going to be a theme with the other palettes that you're going to see. Yeah, I like a bit of grungy swamp vibes. And as well, palettes that are sort of complete. I don't need to reach into anything else because I've got a super light white matte here for my inner corner. I've got a nice deep shade and lots of nice mid-tones and a variety of shimmers that are different depths as well. So I think this is just ticking all of the boxes for me. So I think this is a fantastic option for fall. I keep saying fall, but I mean, we call it the autumn in the UK. I may use those words interchangeably. Then I have more of an older palette in my collection. I think I have possibly the first version of it. I think it's been re-released and updated, but this is from Unearthed Cosmetics and this is the Law palette. They are a US based indie brand, and as you can see, we've got Medusa on the front, and inside, like, yeah, I've still got the one with the giant pans. I don't think Unearthed Cosmetics do pans that are this size anymore, but I kind of like that better. But yeah, we have a 9-pan palette here. And although I said not spooky, you could potentially get spooky looks out of this for sure. We do have a black. I love it when there's a black included in an eyeshadow palette, because that is going to be giving me all of my depth. We do have a lighter orange. Could we have had one extra lighter shade? Potentially, but I just feel like this is another delicious colour story. I just feel like autumn and orange and green and brown just go hand in hand. So the fact that this includes 2 delicious oranges, even the 2 shimmers down here, they're very autumnal leaning. I think this is another great option. Oh, now this is one I didn't check, but I'm assuming you still can get it. Fingers crossed. This is the Artitude Cosmetics Maneater Untamed palette. Artitude Cosmetics are a UK based indie brand, and they did very kindly send me this in PR, and I have used this in a plethora of looks because it is such a versatile palette. And I just feel like the tones that are here, especially the sort of warmer brown, we also have a black, like I say, I like a black. the green tones as well, and we have the warm sort of yellowy golds over here. It's just so, so pretty. And a little bit more versatile for autumn as well, because it's not just your typical shades that you would expect for autumn. We do have more sort of bluey tones as well in this, and some pinks, but quality wise, colour story wise, versatility wise, super good. You knew when you clicked on this video, if you've been on my channel before, there was no way that I wasn't going to be including a Cosmic Brushes palette. And you were right, because here we have the Neutrals palette, Cosmic Beauty or Cosmic Brushes, not sure if the name's still interchangeable. A UK-based indie brand. They have one of the best formulas I have ever tried, hands down, bar none, amazing. The colour stories are always ridiculously beautiful. They can just do no wrong in my opinion. I don't think I've ever had a critique for them in any eyeshadow palette that I've tried, to be quite honest. Wow. But this is the gorgeous colour story, and as you can see I've hit pan. I do not hit pan. I have that many eyeshadows in my collection. So many. A ridiculous amount. I am going to do a whole palette collection video at the end of the year, so please do subscribe if you're interested in that. I also need to do a declutter within that. And with all of the palettes that I use, my aim is not to hit pan. I don't want to. I want to preserve my makeup for as long as possible. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, let's pan this palette. No, that's not me. I like to keep my palettes very, very nice, preferably clean, well looked after, and generally not hitting pan. The fact that I have hit pan on a shade in this just tells you how much I love this palette. And usually I like to go for bright, vivid colours, greens, blues, purples, but considering that this is a neutral palette, and this is the one that I reach for the most throughout the whole year, this is fantastic. This is a fantastic option if you like more neutral leaning palettes, less sort of bright oranges and greens and that type of thing, and you just want something a little bit more toned down. The quality of Cosmic Brushes is astounding, and until you've tried it yourself, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. We do have some shifty shades in here. I think this one's a shifty shade, this one's like a sparkly topper with a little bit of a shift in it. Oh, and this one's definitely a shifty shade as well. So it does have some special shades in here. It does have depth, it has light shades and mid-tones like all of the gorgeous Cosmic Brushes palettes do. This is a firm favourite in my collection in any type of ranking, whether it's fall related or anything. Now I do have another from Cosmic Brushes, and it is the Undergrowth palette. And I couldn't not include this because to me, this is grungy, swampy greens that are perfect for autumn, because I do like to wear greens a lot at this time of year. And as well as the greens, we also do have some more chartreusey shades and some sort of clayey browns, which I just feel like is perfect. Again, depth, we have some special shifty shades, fantastic formula. Like, isn't this just the most stunning autumnal palette? Then from Odin's Cosmetics, we actually have the Autumn Alba palette. I mean, it's in the name. Again, this was very kindly sent to me in PR, and I loved working with this one. This colour story is a little bit different for autumn. It's a little bit of a different take. The greens are a little bit cooler, a little bit fresher. We have a pink, a yellow, a really, really nice light pastel green. It's just, but we do have two grungy greens here. This matte green and this shimmer go together so well, so you can still sort of get the grungy deeper green vibe if that's what you're going for, but also with the bright pops as well. I just think it's more of an interesting take on autumn, not your typical colour story. Now some of the shimmers in here are harder to pick up on a brush than others because there's different shimmer formulas. So some may need to be used with a finger or sponge tip applicator, like this one at the top called Crisp, that's a little bit more of a speckled flaky shade, but they look absolutely insane on the lid. Fantastic quality, love this one. Now we're on to the last one, and this is from Singe Beauty. Again, sent to me in PR very kindly by the brand. This is the Agate Temptation. Now, a US-based indie brand run by Angelica Nyqvist, who is a beauty YouTuber. Look at this colour story. I did a look recently, which is over on my Instagram, and I just wanted to create something very, very autumnal, and this is the palette I decided to reach for. Now, I did film a look for the members on my channel. If you do want to join my membership, there will be a join button somewhere down below, and then you can get monthly members videos. So I was using this palette, and I think this for autumn is just perfection for me, and it even has a bright green. We do have a bit of a shifty shade down here. We have some topper shades. The quality of this palette is absolutely phenomenal, so if you were looking to try a relatively new US indie brand. I think you can't go wrong with this one. And we do have the more reddy oranges. We do have a gorgeous mustard shade. We do still have brown in here if you wanted to lean a little bit more neutral. And then we do have warm and cool toned greens. I just think it's such a well curated colour story, and what's not to love for autumn. I hope no one was counting how many times I said autumn and fall in this video, because if you were, wow. This time of year is just my absolute favourite when it comes to eyeshadow. Not only for the spooky palettes that weren't included in this video and the types of tones that they have, but also for the more traditional autumnal colours. I absolutely love green eyeshadow, especially deep, rich brown eyeshadow when it comes to outer corners, and vivid, bright oranges. Those types of colour stories just speak to me the most. Those are the ones that I get the most excited about using. It's just the best time of year all round, I think. I mean, fluffy jumpers, fluffy socks, pumpkin spice lattes, iced pumpkin spice lattes, Gilmore Girls. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hopefully you found it interesting. Like I say, I have a lot more autumnal palettes in my collection, but unfortunately, a lot of them are discontinued. If you could let me know down in the comments what your favourite palettes are for autumn, because I may have missed some in my collection that actually are still available that I could have included. That is a real possibility. And you don't necessarily need to buy any of these palettes. If you already have these types of tones in your collection, you can just shop your stash to get the same sort of vibe as these palettes. Thank you so much for everybody that sticks around and watches my videos and likes to listen to me prattle on about coloured powder. Let me know if you'd like me to do a spooky palette video and talk about the different types of colour stories and spooky leaning vibes of palettes that I've got in my collection. And hopefully guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!